Did you know that in Halo Reach, one of the map locations is called the BFG Trail? And sure enough, at the end of the trail, you can find a BFG, which if you didn't know, stands for Big F***ing Gun. Hello and welcome to Hidden Video Game Details, the series that aims to show you the things that you may have missed in your favourite games so that you can look really cool in front of a sausage sandwich. Leaving a like is always a really nice thing to do, and be sure to leave your suggestions in the comments down below, and I'll make sure that you get a shout out in the credits at the end of a future video. Anyway, without further delay, let's get started. Right, let's begin today's video with Alan Wake 2. Now, I don't know about you, but there are certain games that I just can't play unless the mood is just right. And Alan Wake 2 is one of those games. Unless it's dark, cold, and preferably rainy, I just can't sit down for a long play session of the game, even though I really want to. It's actually kind of annoying, because despite loving the game, I still haven't completed it, simply because I'm waiting for the perfect conditions to do so. Anyway, I did try playing some more of Remedy's latest just the other day, when it was raining of course, and that's where I noticed a really cool detail. When playing as Alan, you can spot several cars lining the streets, which seem normal enough. The thing is, if you pay attention to the license plates of these cars, you'll notice that they are far from normal, with messages such as return, die here, and don't write being seen. It's one of those little details that blends in so well that I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people had missed it. Up next is Little Kitty Big City. Now, back in episode 163 of this series, we discovered that the little kitty in the big city could take a break from smashing pots and use the slide, which was kind of cute. The thing is, not everyone in the game appreciates the little cat's cuteness, and one such person can be found at the construction site. If you stand here long enough, eventually the site foreman will pick you up and place you outside, which is fair enough. Well, if you wear the hard hat, the foreman will appreciate your health and safety compliance and allow you to remain on site, which is actually pretty clever. Another game that we've covered before on this channel is Another Crab's Treasure, which is full of Easter eggs and details. And despite covering the game in its own video, it turns out there was a detail that I missed. At the beginning of the game, you can find a bunch of ice lolly sticks buried in the sand. Written on the sticks is a joke, but the punchline is stuck in the sand. Well, if you hit one of these sticks, the punchline to the joke will be revealed, but it might not be what you expected. For example, this joke asking, "Why did the lobster blush?" is usually followed by the punchline, "Because the sea weed." However, in Another Crab's Treasure, the punchline is, "He pissed himself." This stick asks, "Why did the crab cross the road?" And the punchline is, "Because he didn't pay his taxes," which is a nod to the plot of the game. There are loads of these lolly sticks in the game, so let me know which ones you found. Now, regular viewers of this channel will be familiar with the famous 0451 code. It's a code that a whole bunch of games have used before, usually as the first code in the game. This has led to some games trying to defy players' expectations, with games like Sulaco actually causing the player a very small amount of damage if they use the code, and Deathloop even rewarding players with a trophy if they attempted to enter the famous numbers. Well, the 2022 FPS stealth game Gloomwood goes one step further. If you try using the code to open this safe, this will happen. So the safe will blow up, causing you a whole bunch of damage. Now, you might think that the safe is booby-trapped and that it blows up regardless of the code entered. Well, you'd be wrong, as if you enter any other code, the safe will remain locked and, most importantly, won't blow up. I love this detail because it throws your expectations out of the window. Up next is SCP-5K. Now, all the credit for this next detail has to go to the eagle-eyed viewers who watched last week's Easter egg video and noticed something very clever. You see, SCP-5K is a tense game, and you kind of have to have your wits about you and your finger on the trigger just in case. Except you don't. Take a look at this clip of me firing a pistol and see if you notice anything cool. So before shooting, my character has their finger off the trigger, and when firing the gun, the finger of course moves to the trigger. What's cool is, after firing the pistol, your character will move their finger off the trigger again, which is good trigger discipline. Now, I've played a lot of first-person shooters, and I can't recall many, if any, that actually show good trigger discipline. But if you know of a game that actually recreates this detail, then I'm more than happy to be proved wrong. The other detail from SCP-5K is actually really funny. I want you to pay attention to the game's main menu, which is a pretty bog-standard main menu with options like start, credits, and exit. Well, if you head into the settings and change the game's language to Australian, these options will also change, with the option to exit being replaced with this, which has to be said in an Australian accent to get the full effect. Now, the Duke Nukem games have always had cool ways of interacting with the environment, and the PlayStation classic Duke Nukem Time To Kill is no different. For example, during the game's first level, Duke can visit the strip club, because it wouldn't be a Duke Nukem game without a strip club. Anyway, the strip club is full of mirrors, and if you approach a mirror and press the action button, Duke will do this.
Ooh, I make this look good. Hey, what can I say? I'm God's gift to women.
I mean, if there's one thing that can't be argued, it's that Duke definitely doesn't lack confidence. Up next is Phasmophobia. Now, the new Point Hope map takes place in a lighthouse, and it has a really cool Easter egg hidden away that's definitely worth checking out. Hint, hint. But it also hides a very clever detail that fans of flags will appreciate. In the children's bedroom, you can find 6 flags strung from the ceiling. And on the surface of things, these flags don't mean anything. Well, if we refer to the International Flags and Pennants table, yes, that is a thing, it turns out that the flags in this room spell get out. It's such a subtle detail, and one that I'm sure many people would have missed. Right, let's end today's video with Destroy All Humans 2. Now, the Destroy All Humans games have always relied on their sense of humour to keep players interested. But if you start to lose interest and put the controller down, how can the game get your attention? Well, let's find out. If you go idle in Destroy All Humans 2, this will happen. So Crypto will perform a little dance, but not just any dance. This is a dance that became meme royalty after it was performed by Snoop Dogg. So that's it. If you have any cool things in games that you think I should check out, then please leave them down in the comments. Big or small, obvious or not obvious. If I think it's cool, I'll include it in a video and of course credit you like these people here. As always, thank you all for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.